Alright you guys, so here's a quick video of a new experiment for myself. As you can see, I have some eggs on a slate rock here, and there's a lot of white ones, and there's still a lot of fertilized ones. So this was their first time laying their eggs, so I removed the parents just to be on the safe side, and maybe I should have just left them in there and tried it with them in there the first time, but the second time, if this doesn't work out, I'm going to try it with the parents in there. They're actually doing it in the 36 gallon too, so they may work out in there too. I doubt it because there's other fish in there. But as you can see, there is some on there that's good, and there's some on there that's bad. And now I have used, they call it methylene blue. I put a little bit in the tank. I didn't put that much in there. I just used a half recommended dosage for the 10-gallon tank. And I put an air stone to aerate the bubbles to keep movement around them, or aerate the eggs to keep movement around the eggs. The angels were zebras, blue zebras, and I didn't want to take a chance of them eating them because it was their first hatch, or his first time laying eggs. I don't know what kind of parents they were going to be, so I didn't want to take that chance. So we'll see how this works out, and if these don't work out, I will basically clean the rock off and start over again. But how I got them to do it, to spawn, to lay their eggs, I put them in this 10-gallon tank and I left them alone for a good day or so. I fed them good. Then I gave them probably a good 20% water change, and fed them. And I noticed that they were picking at the rock, but it didn't really catch my attention. I wasn't paying really much attention to it. I was working and really didn't have time. But I come home the next day and I noticed them. They were laying on the rock. And the rock was laying flat down like this one, so I was surprised that they laid. Oh, I knew they would have laid on them. I was surprised because most time angels like to pick on the glass or the heaters, but it makes more sense. There was less movement in the bottom of the tank, and the only filter I had was that one in there. And I decided to put this one in there as well, but I'm going to have to turn the filters down probably a little bit so there's not so much movement in there when they come free float swimming. So my pumps are all set up on I can regulate the flow, so plus I have little valves on top I can turn everything down. But we'll see what happens. There's an awful lot of white ones. I didn't really want to end up with, 50 or 60 angels either, so I'd rather have just about 5 or 6 or 10 to start out with. I don't want a whole bunch. I'm not quite ready for that many angels anyway. I decided to get out of the guppies because it's just they breed like rabbits, and I'm just going to keep the strain I have and put them in a community tank, and if the babies get eaten, they get eaten. But I'll keep that strain of the guppies. But the 60 gallon is going to be more of a community tank for basically everything. Angels, I got Bosemani's. Up here is Bosemani babies. See them swimming around. I think there's 10 or 11 in here. Sorry for the glare in the background, you guys. So there's Bosemani's. And I also have, ow, I hurt my foot, so bear with me. As you can see here, I have Kamacos. And I think there's 20 Kamacos in here. 20 or 25. It's hard to count them. So I got Kamacos in this one, Bosemani's in this one. Now soon to have Angels. Now later on, I do plan on doing Tetras, the neon Tetras. Which are probably going to be in that aquarium over there, the small one. I think I'm going to end up building another stand like this. And moving it downstairs. And build a rack like this and putting 3 more tanks on them. And I'm going to spawn. Maybe I'll do that. I'll wait and do the Tetris in there. And another snail in there. I've been trying to kill the snails because they like to eat the eggs. When you got eggs in here and they're all in the mop, like you see, there's a snail going right there. They'll eat the eggs. So you gotta get rid of the snails. But yeah, my plan is to probably build another rack like this. I'm debating on maybe going with 20-gallon breeders and use this one for the starting them out in this. As they get bigger, probably put them in the breeders and let them grow up into that. But I don't know, I haven't decided yet. I do know that the Bosemani's I can get rid of. And I also have, oh, sorry, these are not Kamacos. These are dwarfs. These are dwarf babies. The Kamacos are in the 36-gallon, and they're pretty big. Yeah, these are dwarf babies. I forgot. So anyways, I have dwarf, neon dwarfs, or I think they're just called rainbow dwarfs or something. I don't know the exact name. And then this in here is the Bosemani's. And the father and the mother is very beautiful colors, so I know they're going to be pure. And the Angels, I know I'll be able to get rid of those too, but it'll be for quite a while. So that's why I need to have at least 20 breeders just to hold them. It would be nice. But I just wanted to show you the Angels. This is my first time. Well, it ain't my first time. The first time was actually an accident. And the second time, I can basically say it's an accident too, but I do know how to hatch the eggs myself. But actually, the first time I raised Angels was, I tried so hard and I couldn't get them to do it, and I thought I didn't have a pair. But eventually they paired up. It was really weird. But how I did it the first time was, I had a 50-gallon tank, and I couldn't get them to lay eggs. And I asked and read, and people just told me, leave the tank alone. Don't do nothing to it. And eventually I just said, hell with it, I left my tank alone. The only thing I did was add water to it. I didn't even do water changes. And the tank was actually starting to get a little bit green. And I didn't like that, but I left it. And eventually, I didn't even know it, there was eggs in there, and it was on a pipe, and it was kind of, they laid them kind of like hidden, so I didn't see them. And I didn't even see them, wigglers that was on the pipe. And at the time, I didn't know what I was looking for anyway, and the glass started getting so green I could barely see. I didn't want to touch nothing because I wanted them to have, lay eggs. So anyways, next thing you know, I had I was 4 angels, and they were hiding in the pipe, and I never even knew I had them, and the tank was quite dirty. So eventually it caught on, and I seen them coming out of the pipe once in a while to eat. And it was kind of funny because I'm surprised they didn't starve to death. They must have just been eating the food that I was feeding the mother and the father. But they survived, and I had 4 angels, and it was pretty cool. Tried so hard and gave up and just left the tank alone, and they had 4 babies. But this time here, I'm a little bit more experienced from reading and watching, thanks to YouTube. Never had that technology years ago, but a lot of them went white, and which is expected for the first time male not knowing what he's doing. He didn't fertilize them all. He didn't seem to be too interested. He'd do it, but he wasn't very busy. And I kind of figured, well, that's when I decided I'm going to take him out of the tank, because I know he fertilized some, I just didn't know how much. And I didn't want to take a chance of them eating them and picking off all the white ones and eating the good ones that's going to be left, which I knew was going to be very, very slim. That it was going to be very little of them. But anyway, you guys, I decided to remove the parents, and I know there's just some good eggs on there, as you can see yourself. And I got the Airstone aerating moving water around them so they don't get no fungus, and I've used methylene blue. And this has been the 2nd day now since they've been laid, and I'm hoping I can start seeing wigglers by tomorrow or the next day. Usually it's 3 to 4 days, and when I do see that, I will come back and show you that video and take you through my experience of raising these guys. Hopefully. I have brine shrimp coming tomorrow night, and I'll be feeding them brine shrimp. A lot of people say you really don't need to. They'll eat really fine flake food, but I want to use brine shrimp. I'm actually going to make a hatchery too. I've been feeding, this is just a different container, but I think it's, this stuff here is called, it's a really fine powder. It's for fry, starting fry, and it's really, really ground up. It's got a lot of nutritious stuff in it for them, and that's why I raised all the other baby fish on, was all the fry on was that. So it worked. I know it would work for the angels, but anyway, take a chance. I'm going to start using brine shrimp. So anyway, thanks for watching, you guys. Stay tuned, subscribe. You don't want to miss out on my first time and my first disaster. I imagine it will be. Everything else is usually. But yeah, hopefully this will work out and these guys will be okay. So, later.